tonight, we take an in-depth look at the legal battle now brewing after a judge in Florida strikes down the federal mask mandate on public transportation. That includes planes. The CDC extended it until May 3rd.
And travelers here in Tampa have mixed feelings about the change.
I'm sad because after that announcement, as the people exited the plane, probably 80 to 90% of the people were still masked, as you are, and I think it's been over-exaggeration for 2 years.
I think COVID cases are still rising in the country, and I think it's better safe than sorry. You know, I mean, I'm from Connecticut. We have a little different opinion than you have down here in Florida.
New tonight, an administration official told ABC News after this ruling the TSA will not enforce the mask mandate on public transportation. This is video of crews at Tampa International Airport removing those signs that tell travelers to wear a mask.
ABC Action News reporter Rochelle Aline is live at TPA with the latest on the changes you will see. Rochelle?
Yeah, following that updated TSA guidance, masks are now optional here at the Tampa International Airport. But when it comes to the lawsuit at the center of that judge's ruling, tonight I spoke to two lawyers who had two very different opinions on how that case should have gone. After a lengthy 59-page assessment with just 21 words, a U.S. District Court judge in Florida undid the federal mask mandate we've seen on public transportation for more than a year. Tonight, I spoke to two Florida-based attorneys about the ruling, and their opinions differ. Jeffrey Swartz is an ABC Action News legal expert who tells me the lawsuit at the center of this ruling is too broad, with its key defendant being President Biden.
If an organization, a corporation, is involved in interstate transportation, they fall under the jurisdiction of the United States government, the Department of Transportation.
But another attorney, Pamela C., tells us that the lawsuit was right to start with the president because he's technically the head of all government agencies that fall under the executive branch. She also tells ABC Action News that the CDC overstepped by issuing a mask order in the first place.
They have never asked for input, which is mandatory under the APA. They have not followed their own rules related to creating these kinds of guidelines.
But what both can agree on is that if an airline asks you to wear a mask on their plane right now, you still have to.
Whether there's a stay on this or not, if I were the airlines, I would be saying, you have a contractual obligation to obey all the orders of the people who work on our airplanes. And if they tell you to put a mask on, you put a mask on. You don't, you get off the airplane.
The businesses have a right to ask for a mask. So you go through the airport, you don't want to wear the mask, okay. You get on the airplane, you have to wear the mask if they ask you to.
And tomorrow I'm taking a deeper dive and looking at how things like mandates and ordinances impact people by looking at State Senate Bill 620. If it passes, it would allow local businesses to sue local governments if they pass an ordinance that causes them to lose money. It's legislation that has a lot of local governments up in arms, and 20 mayors in our state have written to the governor asking him to veto that bill. I spoke to folks on all sides of the issue, and I'll have that here on ABC Action News tomorrow at 11 o'clock. But for now in Tampa, Rochelle Aline, ABC Action News.
Rochelle, thank you. And our legal analyst tells ABC Action News that he expects this ruling to be challenged and eventually kicked up to the Supreme Court. After the ruling, the president of the Association of Flight Attendants released a statement asking for clear communication and calm at airports. It says in part, quote, immediately we urge calm and consistency in the airports and on planes. The last thing we need for workers on the front lines or passengers traveling today is confusion and chaos, end quote. Nelson also warned that in aviation, it could take a minimum of 24 to 48 hours to see new procedures implemented. The warning comes after an increase in the amount of unruly passengers since the start of the pandemic. The Federal Aviation Administration says there were about 6,000 unruly passenger cases in 2021. More than 4,200 of those were the result of face masks. As of March, the FAA reported close to 1,000 unruly passengers. Just 2 weeks ago, a bill was proposed to put violent passengers on a no-fly list. You can read more about this proposal on our website at abcactionnews.com.